Hey everyone, I'm Nito King, back with another game of Dominion. We're introducing a brand new expansion this time, so I figured let's bring back one of our favorite returning guests.
Hey, I'm Kieran Miller.
And the Prosperity expansion is probably most people's favorite, or at the very least, I don't know of anyone who doesn't like it. Which is why we're playing this and not Alchemy, because there are very few people who really like that one. There are some new mechanics, a bunch of new cards, and for the first time we've got some meaningful treasure cards in our kingdom. If you remember, the only treasure card we've had so far, other than the basic ones, has been Harem, which had all the excitement of also being a victory card. But I'd like to draw your attention to the top left of the screen, where above Province and Gold, we've now got two new basic cards. These are going to be involved in all of the games that we play with the Prosperity expansion. Once we move on to other expansions, they'll kind of randomly show up whenever we're using Prosperity cards. The idea is the more Prosperity cards you have in your kingdom, the more likely it is they'll show up. Once you've randomized your kingdom however you do it, you take one card from each stack, draw one at random, and if it's a Prosperity card, you're playing with Colony and Platinum. Basically, there's not a whole lot of new stuff involved with them, they just exist there. Platinum is a step above gold, 3 more coins in the cost, but it's worth 2 more. So it's important to understand, if you were to say mine a gold into a platinum, you're increasing your hand value by 2. Platinums are really valuable, but there are only 12 of them. And then Colony is a victory card that costs a whopping 11 coins, but it's a 4-point step up from Province. It's worth 10. Now, whenever you play with colonies, there's an additional endgame condition. So the game still ends if provinces are empty, or if any other 3 piles are empty. But if the colony pile empties, that's an additional endgame condition. So, something to watch out for. Then we'll move into the actual kingdom cards, and I'll introduce the new mechanics as they come up. First up, we've got Watchtower. This is our first reaction that reacts to something other than attacks. Playing it just lets you draw until you have 6 cards in hand. But any time that you gain a card, whether it's a card that you bought, a card that you gained during your turn, an attack that your opponent has forced a card into your deck, if you have a Watchtower in hand, you can reveal it, and it allows you either to trash the card you just gained, or put it on top of your deck. Now there is a message that'll show up in the log sometimes, especially if you've got multiple Watchtowers, that says, Watchtower loses track of a card. I'd say don't really worry about that right now. That has to do with some of the interactions between different reactions. That'll come into play a couple of expansions from now. For right now, it just means that once that message shows up, you can no longer use the Watchtower to put something on top of your deck. Next up is Monument. Nice simple card, gives you +2 coins, but you also get +1 victory point. With Prosperity, you've got victory point tokens that are worth as many victory points as the victory points on your victory cards, but they don't take up space in your deck, and once you've got them, you can't lose them. Victory cards can be trashed, victory points are permanent. Next up, Workers' Village. It's our village for this kingdom, pretty much. +1 card, +2 actions, and +1 buy. Sometimes that's really vital, sometimes it's basically just a 1 coin more village. Then we got Counting House. Kind of a weird one. You get to take all of the copper from your discard pile, or any number of coppers you want, usually it'll be all of them, and put them into your hand. So if you've got a bunch of coppers, particularly if you've got an attack that gives you coppers, Counting House can be really valuable. If it comes up right after a shuffle, it can be really not. So, sometimes great, sometimes terrible. It's really up in the air. Rabble is your +3 card attack. You get 3 cards, everybody else reveals the top 3 cards of their deck, discards any actions or treasures, and then puts the rest back. So you can really top-load somebody's deck with all the victory cards that they've got. And I don't think we've really got any defense in this kingdom against that kind of thing. So now we've got Royal Seal. It's a treasure, it's worth 2 coins, just like a silver. But as long as you have at least 1 Royal Seal in play, you can put any card that you gain on top of your deck. And that's not just cards that you buy, but for right now, once you've got treasures in play, buying is pretty much the only way you're going to get new cards. Venture is another weird treasure. It's only worth 1, but every time you play one, you start flipping over cards from your deck until you find another treasure card. You discard everything else that you revealed, and you play whatever treasure turned up. If that treasure is another venture, you'll repeat the process. So if ventures are the only treasures in your deck, you can play them all every time, as long as you've got 1. Goons. Probably one of most people's favorite cards. You get a buy and you get 2 coins. Everybody else has to discard down to 3 cards in hand. But as long as Goons is in play, for every card you buy, you get an extra victory point token. Get multiple Goons in play, get multiple victory point tokens with every buy. This is the kind of card that might make it worth buying coppers in the late game, especially if you've got a bunch of Goons out. You get a bunch of buys, you can buy some good cards, but then you're out of coins, you buy some coppers, get those extra victory points. And in that case, Counting House is an interesting card. Then we get Bank. It's not worth any fixed amount of coins. When you play it, you get a coin for every treasure that you have in play, including the bank. So at minimum it'll be worth 1 coin. But if you've got a bunch of treasures, your bank can be worth a ton. And if you play a second bank, you make bank. Finally, we've got Expand. This is the remodel variant for this game. It's 7 coins, one of very few cards in the entirety of Dominion to cost 7 coins, but you get to trash a card from your hand and gain a card costing up to 3 coins more, which lets you turn, say, any treasure into the next treasure up, or any of the base victory cards into the next victory card up. So, you could make a strategy around trying to expand some of your duchies and estates into provinces and colonies, although that's pretty slow most of the time. So, that's our kingdom. Any thoughts?
Yeah, it's interesting, the prosperity expansion. I believe it's the only expansion that actually has cards that cost 7. Like, there are other things that can cost 7, but cards explicitly. I think it's just prosperity. Like, which, well, I always thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I believe that is the case.
Otherwise, like, looking at this board, I mean, I don't know if we'd rather talk about it as we get into it. Monument's normally pretty good, but Goons is like Monument, but better. So, not sure how much that'll come into play here.
Yeah, true. Monument works really well with stuff that automatically plays stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Goons, if you've ever spent any time looking up anything Dominion, everyone knows that it's one of the most outrageously strong cards in the game. It's almost like it's a victory strategy unto itself, and it's a nasty attack, and it gives you economy, and the buys that you needed it as well. So it's it's very strong. Like, particularly if you get to play multiple of them.
Yeah, and especially in a kingdom like this, if you've got a watchtower in hand, you can buy coppers and use the watchtower to trash them so they don't actually end up in your deck.
Oh yeah, that's always easy to forget about. But yeah, that's a very good point. With no real good trashing, the comedy option that never actually works would be like Counting House to pick up all your coppers and then bang. But how do you get the coppers actually into your discard?
Yeah, well, your opponent's rabble and goons might help with that.
That's true, actually. I say let's crack on with this. And
All right.
Let's go.
So I'm up first. I think I will cleverly not buy anything.
Well, it looks like I have exactly the same, so I'm not going to do it either. I think I'd rather have had 3-4 here, honestly.
Yeah, 3-4 would definitely be better. So what's good for 5? I mean, I could get a rabble, but I think at the early stage of the game, that's actually going to help you more than it hurts you. I think Royal Seal is about the only card that makes much sense.
Well, I'm going to try something different, and I'll go for the rabble. Yeah, it cycles through your cards, but it cycles through mine as well, so...
True.
And it's draw for later, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll rabble it up.
I've got 3. Watchtower's tempting, but I do need at least a silver at some point, so...
Yep, let's see. I mean, the issue is there's not really any attacks that'll throw curses at me to make the Watchtower worth much. I guess the question is, if I get a silver, do I want it on top of my deck? Might as well. It's probably about the best.
So here comes the rabble. When your opponent starts getting multiple victory cards, it keeps asking them to pick an order. It's quite annoying. I got a 6 there, so I'm gonna grab a goons now.
Yeah, well, I've got 7.
I didn't want to play that rabble anyway. Yeah.
So I guess, do I want to underbuy and get a goons, or do I want to get an expand? I think the expand is going to be better early on. Can't top deck it. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, it seemed like a good play to me. You definitely, while you've got easier to get it with your estates early, it seems quite good.
So I guess the question is, what all do I want to expand early on? And what do I want to get for it? I can take anything up to 5. Venture's not going to be any good for quite a while. Don't know if I want another rabble or another Royal Seal, frankly. I want to try to get up to goons. I think I'm just going to take a workers' village. And... do I want one more silver?
Oh.
Yeah, I guess I may as well. Yep, I saw it though. So let's go ahead. I'm not going to do anything useful with that silver right now. Get myself a goons.
I'm just going to keep playing these goons while I got it.
Yep, well, it's pretty garbage.
So you can see by my name on the screen my victory point chips.
Yep, in the physical game you get a little mat that they go onto. Yeah, I'm gonna take a watchtower.
I'm hoping to get one of those eventually, but my turns keep being good enough to not bother, so...
Let's see. I mean, the attack is good, but I'm almost certainly gonna skip some good action cards. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I think I want to do that. Alright, doesn't look like I skipped anything good, whereas I skipped his goons. Could get second expand, but I want another goons. I want to play those as often as possible. I will not top deck it.
Yeah, goons really come into that.
You skipped my coppers.
Time for you to buy a counting house then.
Well, it's a little late for me to buy a counting house because I can't get it into my hand.
Yeah. I see, you should have bought one earlier then. Haha, no. Expand here, maybe. I think so. I would like to get rid of these estates at some point. Stop you rabbling them into my top of my deck. But
yeah, it's a good point.
It's turn 9 though, which is quite late. So
yeah, let me turn an estate into a workers' village and top deck it. And not buy anything else. I think I can live with that.
oh man, what do I want here? It's tempting to get in the goons. I might just get a rabble instead, but actually I think now is a chance to get my watchtower. There we go. Buy 2 cards, get double the points.
Yeah, I'm very late in the game getting my goons into play here, and that was pretty awful. I think I need more workers' villages.
Yeah, only 1 village pile here is they're going to run out. That was a pretty rubbish turn, but it was the best I could do.
Okay, let's see. And expanding something would be nice. Actually, could be really nice. Yeah, let me go ahead and do this. Turn a silver into another rabble, I think. And then top deck a workers' village.
I guess I play this to draw an extra card. Yeah, there we go. That was good. And this is also very good. Yeah, let's do that. Let's grab that. And one of these.
There we go. Now we're getting stuff done. Yeah, not a good time to shuffle probably, but needed to take the chance.
Oh, nice. 2 goons.
Yep, so now I've got 8. A whole bunch of buys, but no watchtower in hand.
Oh man, this would be one great turn if you had a watchtower. Was that last card?
Yeah, yeah, I could get myself 12 points. So now the question is, what one decent card do I want? I think I want to take that last workers' village, certainly, and clearly I'm coming up short on watchtowers. And I think it's too early to buy any extra coppers.
That's a hum I like to hear.
Yeah, it's just a question of which of these cards do I actually want to play.
I think at 6 I'm definitely going to grab my second goons.
Alright. Do I want to ditch the royal seal and get something else for it? Or do I want to turn the copper into something more productive? Honestly, I think the royal seal has served its purpose.
Yeah, royal seal. I
Toss
never
another
know.
rabble in there.
When you've also got watchtower as well. Like I mean, I guess it gives you more money than watchtower, of course, but tricky. Like, how useful is it when you have another way of top decking cards?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to play this.
Alright. Yeah, alright.
I'm going to play this. I think I'll just grab another rabble. Yeah. I can top deck that. Oh, and I've got 10. Oh, man, what do I want to do with this? Almost wonder if bank is better than platinum here, with just no real way of getting rid of all these coppers. Like, well, there's only ways like expanding, but I'm just expanding them into like silvers.
Right.
Let's see. What would I do if I did that? I think I could use a bank and a watchtower. Probably. Is that any good? Or do I get another expand? No, I'm going to try it. Let's go for that. And I'm not going to top deck that. I'm going to get another watchtower. And I don't think I'll top deck that either. And then I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to spend all my remaining buys just for some free points.
Might as well. I mean, if I could ever get a watchtower into my hand, that would be great, but you're rabbling them all away. I don't know that I want another watchtower, but I think I have to.
Of course, if I'd have managed to get to my second goons, then that would have been a crazy good turn.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do I really want a third goons? I guess it improves the odds that I get 2 goons in my hand, so let's do it.
Yeah, that was not the best move, but I don't think I even want anything else.
This is a not very good turn here. I've got basically 2 rabbles and a watchtower.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of don't want to play any of them because I think I'm going to have a load of villages coming up.
And that's almost every hand I've had.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a watchtower and I'm just going to top deck it for next turn. Maybe that'll be okay.
Yep, definitely makes sense. Alright, now we've got some stuff going on. Yeah, I don't think that's really going to do me a whole lot of good. Yeah, let's get one more thing.
I guess the one sort of combo I hadn't really considered here was when your opponent plays goons on you, you go down to 3 cards in hand, and watchtower draws you back up to 6 if you've got enough of them. That's better than rabble on the first play after that situation, if you can manage it.
Yeah, so I mean, this could be a 16-point turn, or I can take a gamble. Pretty sure I've got one more watchtower in there, but I'd only be drawing 2 cards. So I'm going to call it done, shove those out there.
Yeah, your turn's definitely better with the watchtower, and you potentially leave one for next turn. So
yeah. The issue is I got a couple of turns left that nothing's going to come up.
oh yeah, 5 villages in this play and 8 cards in your deck. Oh, that's
Yep. Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot of useful stuff that I can get at this point, so we'll take the goons. Yeah, it'll be something to play next turn. And we'll trash some coppers.
yeah. So the thing with goons is that like you can gain points just so quickly if you can play multiple of them. Like as you can see here, you know that was way better than just like a colony. So here's all those villages I said I would have. I was right. Oh, I should have played the goons first and then the watchtower. That was a bit dumb.
Let's see, which one do I want to play? I'll play that one.
So I actually am going to take the gamble because I've got another action. And look at that. Oh, but now of course I don't have a watchtower.
Yep, that was my gamble too.
But I do have that bank that was kind of like a platinum. But yeah, I'm not going to be buying like a ton of coppers on this turn. So what do I want to do? Do I really want a colony? Is it worth it? Yeah, well, why not?
Yeah, 13-point colony, can't really argue with that.
Let's get another rabble. That's what I needed on that turn. It was still 6 points, but you know, I could have. Well, no, I only had 2 goons. I should have played one of them before my first watchtower. Wow, what an awful hand.
Yeah, I certainly need to buy something because I need the point. Alrighty, watchtower it is then.
So you know how I had all those villages, but none of my rabbles. Well, you'll probably guess what came next.
Yep.
I sort of don't want to get the watchtower because it's too low on piles. There's only 5 cards left, so
Yeah, that's kind of the issue here.
I guess the colony was the right decision in that regard.
Yeah, I mean that sort of worked out. But again, I don't know whether it's worth really buying anything at this point. I'm not getting any points for it. Yeah, let's just not buy anything. Hope to get a good turn somewhere along the way.
Hopefully this one ends up okay. Well, yeah, it's alright.
Well, there goes my deck.
Oh wow, yeah, that was Of course, when I buy colonies, it makes rabbles worse on me. So let's get a ton of points, and let's just keep getting points, so that you don't end it on me.
It's going to be tough to overcome.
Yeah, the problem is because you could buy those remaining 5 cards and get points while doing it, is my worry. So.
Yep, quite true. Alright. Let's think. Don't expect I've got enough good stuff left in the deck to make the rabble worth playing. So, with all of 7, what's useful to do? I can start turning some of my cards into victory cards, but that's not going to do me a whole lot of good. And I don't know whether buying a duchy is going to be better than just trashing 7 more coppers.
I guess the thing with this game, like, if there was a good way to just get the coppers out of your deck, like, this would be some insane, like, draw up, play a load of goons, watchtower. As it stands, like, you still want to play the goons, but then your turns don't really necessarily have that much money. And, like, you can't really get through and play that many, so it's quite tough. What do you do? Like, I had a good bank turn, but that was about it. Like, well, 2 good bank turns actually, which got me my colonies.
I got some interesting options in terms of buying something and top decking it.
It's true. Top deck of goons,
Yeah, I may as well. Probably a mistake, but I need to do something to come back into this game because I am not ever going to get myself up to 11 coins.
So this time I'll play the goons first. And look at that. Very good. Ooh. Oh no, I need more money. I've got a trick here. I could play a rabble or I could play an expand. And I could like expand a province into a colony, but I think I would rather play the rabble. And I draw...
Yeah, you kind of want to watch for that, because I've got 3 goons in my discard, and there were 8 cards in my deck. Now there's only 5 I got to draw through to potentially get back to those goons.
Yeah, that's true. In the end, I drew like 2 colonies. And a watchtower, so that's pretty bad. On the other hand, I do have this. And of course, I also shuffled my deck by playing that rabble. Oh no, I didn't. I'd already done that, so never mind. Oh
Yeah,
man, what
watchtower.
do I do here? I think I'm tempted to top deck a goons, and then if I'm in the lead, should I empty the curses instead of the coppers? That's a...
Yeah, I did consider that.
It's a bit risky though. In this sort of game, your opponent can just gain so many points so fast. So
Oh, yeah, that's about what I figured would happen.
those are the brilliant cards that you made me lose.
I definitely have to get one of those out. And I suppose the question is... Well, not really much of a question. I have to buy the duchy now. Yeah, see, I'm just never going to catch up at this point.
I think it just takes a lucky turn from you.
True.
So
the problem is I don't think there's a whole lot of luck there.
I don't think it's worth buying a copper for 1 point. Another card we've not talked about much here, Workers' Village. In terms of being a village, it's a really, really good village. Like the buy, like you end up with a ton of buys and you don't necessarily use them all, but buys are sometimes hard to come up
Yep.
with, and it's a card you want a lot of anyway. Like I think it's one of the best fours.
One buy short of ending the game, but I'd only be earning 10 points anyway. So Will Trash Coppers hoping to gain a little time.
I see you've caught up a lot, quite a bit.
A little bit.
For the most part. Do I want to play this last rabble and shuffle? I don't think I do. Well, these aren't so... Well, no, they're okay. I won't shuffle. That's an okay turn. I think I have to do this. Not too happy about it. Ugh.
All right. Actually, I can make something of this. I guess the question is, do I expect that I'll be able to catch up with you? I highly doubt it.
Well, I mean, I think, my deck is now starting to get hurt a lot from your rabbles. Like, because I've bought a fair amount of green. Like, and I've just shuffled them all in. So...
Yep. The issue is that my stuff isn't coming up as much as I need it to. I suppose I really should have gone ahead and...
Wow, turn 23. This is...
I think I may actually want to hold on to that.
This is what Goons does, usually, especially in a colony game with Goons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to get the duchy, I think. And now I will buy the copper for 1 point. With 24 cards still in my deck, I don't think I have to worry.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I desperately need the points too.
So here's hoping this will be okay. Well, sort of.
There we go. One of those rare times you like to see a goons come up.
Can I end this game? I cannot. I don't have enough money. That's my problem. Well. But I'm ahead, so I'm going... Oh no, I didn't mean to top deck that. Certainly do not want to top deck a curse.
No, hey, when you undo, it goes to the bottom of the log now.
Oh, that's good. That always used to be.
Alright, 15 points to make up. That's not going to do it.
Our decks are so bad at this point.
Yeah.
Every time I see a workers' village get discarded by your rabble, I just sort of die a little inside. Oh, what do I do here? Let's see. Yeah, I think this is what I do. I expand a rabble into a rabble. Might as well top deck it. I play this goons.
That's pretty meaningless.
and I can then...
You have the win.
In your hand, did you?
No, you.
Oh, yeah, I did.
You had 3 buys. All you needed to do was clean up the curses.
Yep. Ooh, 20.
So yeah, absolutely abysmal luck on my part in terms of actually being able to get to a goons.
Yeah, 25 turn games. Like, they are long with goons, because you just don't need to buy the other victory cards. I do wonder if maybe, like, the colonies were a mistake. Like, but what else would I have bought, really? More goons? I wanted more villages, but there weren't any. That's what I needed.
Yeah, that was kind of the issue is, I wanted to get something going with the workers' villages and either rabble or watchtower. But, yeah, I could get to the villages early enough. I had so many 3-card turns. There, 3-coin turns. That was the big thing, was I wanted to buy workers' villages, but I could never afford them.
Yeah.
And I ended up having to turn the estates into workers' villages instead of into 5 costs. Not that there were a lot of good 5 costs to get either.
Yeah, I think your problem there, if you look at your deck at the end, you had 8 coppers, 4 goons, and that was the only way you were making any money. You did have the royal seal at one point, but the 4 silvers and the bank, I think, actually ended up doing quite a lot for me. Like, one of the banks got me, 7 money or 8 money or something on one turn, I think. Like, and those 2 colonies, without them on that score, I'd have lost by 1 point, So
yeah, well, there was that. It was just, how was I going to get enough treasures in my hand to have the bank worth anything, and also have the bank in hand?
That's true. I wonder if I got lucky. Then again, I look and I can see. I know I expanded a rabble at the last hand. I got 6 rabbles. We got the same villages. And I guess, I did spend a lot of my actions on the rabbles. So I only ever had 2 goons hands, but it was not like I was drawing my deck anyway. So maybe that was the key. Maybe the rabbles draw more was what you needed here. I'm not sure.
Yeah, tough to say. I didn't really have a whole lot of victory cards until the very end of the thing when I was buying duchies. So the rabbles were really just shuffling my deck. But the workers' villages would just always come up together, and it'd always turn up, lots of copper and expand, and nothing that I could draw with.
Yeah, they came up together for me as well a couple of times. Like, the hand where I had all 4 villages, and then the next turn I had all my 3 rabbles or something in a row. So, but yeah, was a few good turns really what swung that game. Like, the thing is that the difference between your good and bad turns in this game was enormous. 16 victory point tokens when you have a good turn, and buying a watchtower on your worst turn, or nothing. It was tough. The coppers really hurt in this game.
Yeah, and it does look like, well, no, you did expand a couple of coppers.
I think I only expanded 1 in the end. I didn't play expand all that much, I don't think.
Did you buy 2 coppers on 1 turn, or was it just the 1?
I think it was just the 1. Oh, so yeah, I must have... I only bought 1 and kept it, so yeah, I must have... 2 of those silvers were actually expanding coppers. So I think I played expand 5 times or something in the end.
Yeah, and that was the issue, is expand you need to get early, but in this kingdom, having the expand early is just an action that at least I barely ended up playing, because usually the attack was more important. Because you were already charging ahead, and I needed to try and hold you back.
Given the fact that we couldn't get rid of the coppers and our decks couldn't draw that much, I am wondering, Counting House Bank, maybe there was a colony alternative in that game, Counting House Bank get a lot, because you would play a couple of workers' village and there's the buys that you need. I think you have to have goons regardless, but maybe you don't need 4 goons. Right.
Yeah, probably not. And I think the idea is that, because your opponent is probably playing rabbles, unless they're also going for a money strategy, they are shoveling a lot of your coppers into your discard. As long as you've still got cards in your deck,
Yeah.
then that's actually making your turn better every time they hit coppers.
Yeah, of course. The only other issue there, if you do go a route where you're like buying colonies, they all end up on top of your deck, like because of the rabbles. And also, it can skip your coppers, but it can also skip like your counting house, and then you're in big trouble. So, if you wanted to do that, you've lost it for a shuffle. And how many of them do you really want? Like,
Yeah,
all your
true.
banks. So,
I mean, you kind of need a watchtower, I think,
yeah.
or perhaps a royal seal to be able to top deck a counting house.
Yeah, the more I think about it, probably the worse it is. That's the thing with Counting House. Like, it's just bad. Like,
True.
it's
I mean,
very
there are a
hard to get
couple of
it.
combos where counting house will really work out. This may have been one of them, just to deal with the attacks.
Yeah,
But yeah, for the most part, it's just such a swingy card. I've played games where I bought a counting house and it always came up at the end of the shuffle and was really good. And I've had games where I bought a counting house and it always came up on the top of the deck every single time without exception.
yeah, that's a big problem. Some yeah, Counting House. Obviously, like you said, there's the combos where you get to discard all your coppers, draw everything, and then pull them back in and stuff like that. But they are few and far between. And Counting House, I think, it's just not very good in
Yeah,
general.
counting house would work well with something like cellar, or also I think storeroom was in Seaside. It works fairly well with that if you've got
No,
the extra actions for it.
a storeroom. I don't think that's Seaside. That's like Dark Ages. I think
Was it?
possibly.
Oh yeah, warehouse it would work pretty well with.
That's the one from that's the one from Seaside. Yeah, it has uses like that.
Yeah, pretty much anything that lets you discard your coppers to get more cards, and then just get the coppers back. That's where Counting House excels, but then you need the extra actions.
Did you want to try something where we try and make Counting House work on this board, or do you think this video is long enough?
Well, I
It's
think the
quite long.
video's long enough,
Yeah.
and as drawn out as this was, I'm not sure that I want to play another game just to try a Counting House strategy. That
Yeah,
seems
fair enough.
way too slow.
There'll probably be a better board that we come across at some point anyway for it.
Alright, well, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time with more prosperity.
See you later.